This was my ninth proposal, and she rejected me again. Impatiently, she said, Chen Lang, aren't you tired of this? I've told you many times I value freedom and don't want to be tied down by marriage. If you keep pressuring me to marry, we're breaking up while I was in the hospital. After a car accident, she who so cherished her freedom was partying with her male best friend at a bar until dawn. After I was discharged, I initiated the breakup. Half a year later, she came looking for me. She said, stop being childish, come back with me. I'm agreeing to marry you, okay? But you have to promise that even after marriage you won't restrict my right to pursue freedom. I don't want to be stuck in a kitchen all day as a housewife. I have my own social circle. Before she could finish, I softly said, I'm getting married next month. Lying hospital bed, I felt a bit dazed. I'd love her for 7 years, desperately wanting to be with her and start a family. But she wouldn't agree. 3 hours ago, I had proposed to my girlfriend Tang Yu. It was my ninth proposal, and she rejected me again. This time she was clearly impatient. She said she was like a footless bird that longed for the sky, only able to land once. And that was when it died. She didn't want marriage to be her shackle. She cherished freedom, preferring only to date and not marry. After being rejected by her, I walked the streets in a daze and was sideswiped by an out-of-control car. Fortunately, no bones were broken. According to the doctor, I could be discharged after 2 days of observation. It was late outside, and I called Tang Yu many times, but she hadn't answered right. After I saw Xiao Tinian post on WeChat Moments, the pictures and videos clearly showed Tang Yu celebrating Xiao Tan's birthday at a bar. They were holding hands, their smiles sweet. The caption read, holding your hand, growing old together. My love for you is eternal. If it had been before, I would have been furious. I would have immediately questioned Tang Yu and maybe even picked a fight with Xiao Tinian, but at this moment I only felt a pang of sadness. I liked Xiao Tan's post and commented, wishing you happiness. Then I tossed my phone aside. My nose stung and I wanted to cry, but I laughed a bitter laugh. 7 years. I had loved her for 7 years, and over the years my love for her had become increasingly humble. 9 proposals, each one rejected. On the surface, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, but when she was with Xiao Tingan, they seemed more like a couple. Even my friend said that I seemed more like the third WHE, intruding on someone else's relationship. Now I was tired. Someone once said that dating without the intention of marriage is just playing around. I was like a fish, stubbornly holding on to the bait, refusing to let go because of this Tang Yu believed I couldn't leave her, but didn't she know that love is something that requires mutual effort and care? It won't blossom if only one person is putting in the effort. It's just that those who are favored become fearless. Just as I was thinking this, Tang Yu call. I hesitated for a moment, then answered before I could speak. Tang Yu impatiently scolded me. Chen Lang, what's your problem? Why are you commenting nonsense on Xian's post? I was just celebrating his birthday at the bar. I didn't do anything else. Can you not be so narrow-minded? I won't be coming back tonight. I'll be home tomorrow morning. Make sure the raw fish congee is ready for me. With that, she hung up. I sighed, lying in a hospital bed, my mind flashing back to the moments we had shared over the years. I met TU in college that winter. Her parents passed away. With no source of income, she started working part-time while studying, taking on odd jobs after school to make money. That night, I had just come out an internet cafe near the school when I saw Tang Yu being harassed by a drunk guy. Without hesitation, I stepped in to protect her. The drunkard pointed at Tang Yu and yelled, you damn brat, if you don't pay back the money, I'll come to your school every day and make a scene. Tang Yu's eyes were red and she sobbed, my parents just died and you're already coming to me for money. Do you have any conscience? The drunkard cursed in some dialect, acting like he had nothing to lose, and said, anyway, I won't leave until I get my money. It's only right to pay back debts. Even if we go to court, I'm in the right. I quietly asked Tang Yu what was going on. Tang Yu cried and explained her parents had been in a small business partnership with someone, and the last payment for goods hadn't been settled. When her parents suddenly passed away, Tang Yu had mortgaged and sold all the family's assets, but there were still a few tens of thousands of yuan left unpaid. Tang Yu had planned to work and save up bit by bit to pay off the remaining debt, but the creditor had come knocking. Seeing Tang Yu's tearful face, my heart softened. I'll pay her family's debt for her take out the IOU, take the money and get lost. After I transferred the money to the drunkard, he readily threw the IOU at me and left cursing. Tang Yu was incredibly grateful to me and said she would work hard to pay me back. I, on the other hand, played the big spender and then spent a long time eating nothing but steamed buns and pickles. From then on, I worked alongside Tang Yu, and our feelings for each other grew quickly. In the second half of our freshman year, we became a couple. Like other young couples, we were very sweet at the beginning. It wasn't until our junior year that some subtle changes occurred in our relationship, because Shouting Ian had also been admitted to this university. Shouting Ian was Tang Yu's neighbor, 2 years younger than her, and had followed her around since they were children. Tang Yu told me that she had always considered Xiao Tingjin as a younger brother. I believe her at first, but the more time passed, the more I felt something was off. Xiao Tan's eyes flashed with a hint of hostility the first time he saw me. At the time, I didn't think much of it, figuring it was normal for a younger brother-in-law to be wary of his sister's boyfriend. However, Shouting Ian became increasingly outrageous. He would act overly intimate with Tang Yu in front of me and frequent disrupt my dates with her. Yet Tang Yu didn't see any issue with this. I complained a few times, which upset Tang Yu, and we ended up arguing several times because of Shouting Ian. My friends also warned me to be careful of Shouting Ian, saying that if things continued this way, my relationship with Tang Yu would inevitably suffer. After graduation, Tang Yu and I went to work in another city without Jiao Tinian interference. Our relationship stabilized a lot. However, she refused my marriage proposals several times. Last year, Xian graduated and surprisingly came to the same city where we worked. After that, Tang Yu started clinging to Xiao Ting Yin like before, as if she had forgotten about me, her actual boyfriend. I was exhausted from trying to maintain this relationship. I spent a sleepless night in the hospital, my mind replaying the past. As dawn broke, my phone rang again. It was Tang Yu, and she said angrily, "Chenlang, where are you? Why aren't you home? Didn't I tell you to make rice porridge with snakehead last night?" I replied calmly, "I was hit by a car. I'm in the hospital." Before long, Tang Yu arrived at the hospital along with Shouting Yin. Seeing that I was only scraped and bruised without any serious injuries, Tang Yu breathed a sigh of relief. She frowned and scolded me. "I thought you were seriously hurt. It's just a screw. No big deal. You're an adult. How can you be so careless? Can you be discharged today? Handle the discharge procedures yourself. Xiao Ting Ian has an interview today, and I need to accompany him." Her boyfriend was hospitalized after a car accident, and she didn't care at all, her mind still preoccupied with Xiao Tingjin interview. In the past, I would have been furious, but now, besides regret, I felt nothing else. Regret for my 7 years of youth. That's all. Xiao Tingyin, with his back to Tang Yu, gave me a provocative and mocking look and said insincerely, "Chenlang, I heard you propose a Sister Yu again yesterday. Could it be that you got hit by a car because your proposal was rejected? Sister Yu and I are both non-marriage advocates. You have to understand, Sister Yu, I ignored him over the years. He had deliberately sabotaged my relationship with Tang Yu. Because of him, Tang Yu and I argued and had cold wars more and more frequently. Sometimes Tang Yu would even say that I didn't understand her as well as Shouting Ian did, nor was I as caring. She said that Shouting Ian never lectured her with grand principles, but only coaxed and pampered her. My efforts in this relationship over the years were in her eyes less valuable than Xiao Tingjin's sweet words. Looking back now, I was so foolish. Seeing my lack of response, Shouting Ian wasn't ready to give up. He wanted to provoke me, to make me lose my composure in front of Tang Yu, and to make her even more disappointed in me. He narrowed his eyes at me and said deliberately in a wrong tone, "Chenlang, I was celebrating my birthday at the bar last night. There were a lot of friends there, so just to show off, I posted that on my moments. Just having Sister Yu pretend to be my girlfriend. I really didn't mean anything else. I didn't expect you to comment like that under my post." I showed it to Sister Yu right away and wanted to explain it to you, but Sister Yu got angry. "How can you not trust Sister Yu like that?" Looking at his hypocritical face, I said calmly, "And has anyone ever told you that you're disgusting? If you like someone, go after them. You always like to play these underhanded tricks behind people's backs. Are you even a man? No wonder you were stripped naked and thrown into the lake back in college. Back in college, Xiaoan had been very close to a girl acting like a caring guy and showering her with attention. As a result, the girl's boyfriend found out and slapped him several times in public, stripped him of his clothes, and kicked him into the college lake in the middle of winter. This incident had always been Xiao Tingjian's greatest humiliation. After I said this, Xiao Jian face turned extremely ugly with his back to Tang Yu. He glared at me fiercely, then he quickly put on a wronged expression and said to me in front of Tang Yu, "Shi Lang, I really didn't mean anything else." "Isn't it too much for you to say that about me?" Tang Yu glared at me and scolded Chen Lang. "Did the car hit you in the head or something? Even if I rejected your proposal yesterday, even if you got hit by a car, what does it have to do with Xiao Tingan? If you're angry, don't take it out on him." I looked at Tang Yu's displeased expression side and said softly, "Since you entered the ward, you haven't shown any concern about my car accident. Your accusations and scolding towards me have become commonplace. Tang Yu, whose girlfriend are you anyway?" I thought about it all night, and I feel like there's a big problem with our relationship. I don't want to continue like this. Let's break up as soon as I said this. Tang Yu was stunned, while Xiao Tan's eyes lit up with excitement. Tang Yu became even angrier and said, "Chen Lang, what did you say? Say it again, if you dare." I took a deep breath, looked her in the eyes, and said softly, "I don't think I love you as much as I used to. I'm really tired. You like freedom. I'll give it to you." Over the years, because of Xiao Tingjian meddling, whenever Tang Yu and I had arguments or cold wars, she would bring up breaking up. Every time, I was the one who compromised and apologized to her. In her eyes, proposing a breakup was her prerogative, her trump card. So when I brought up breaking up first, she was shocked and angry, but also a little flustered. After being together for several years, Tang Yu saw my determination, and the flustered look on her face became even more pronounced. She hurriedly said, "Chen Lang, don't joke with me at a time like this. I know I've been neglecting you lately, and I know that rejecting your proposal yesterday hurt you. I'll make it up to you. You've always wanted to travel, haven't you? One out. Tinian interview is successful, and he's settled in his new job. We'll go on a nice trip to relax, okay?" She was in a roundabout way giving in and compromising, seeing the flicker of pleading and panic in her eyes. I took a deep breath, about to respond, when Xiao Tingjin hurriedly spoke up. "Chen Lang, how can you say such heartless things after all Yu has done for you over the years? Do you think you can force her to obey you in everything by threatening to break up?" After hearing this, Tang Yu's face showed a hint of suspicion, and her gaze towards me became strange. Perhaps she thought that, like her, I was using the breakup as a threat to make her bow down. I didn't want to dwell on it any further, let her think what she wanted. After proposing the breakup, although I felt regret, I also felt a sense of relief, as if a heavy shackle had been removed. Tang Yu was about to say something when Xia Tangan hurriedly spoke. "Again, my interview time is almost here." Hearing this, Tango looked a bit conflicted. She looked at me and said, "I'll go with Xiao Tingyan to the company for the interview first. After that's done, I'll come back to help you with the discharge procedures. When we get home, we'll talk properly and don't be childish anymore. I'll pretend you didn't say those things just now." After saying that, she gave me a quick kiss on the cheek and hurriedly left the ward with Xiao Tenan. At that moment, my heart finally died completely for her. In the afternoon, I handled the discharge procedures myself. Back at the apartment I rented with Tang Yu, I started packing my personal belongings since I had made up my mind to break up with her. I didn't want to drag it out. Better to make a clean break than to delay and risk further complications. Although I was reluctant to let go of this relationship, I was even more unwilling to continue sinking into the pain of a relationship that was destined to have no future. Night fell, and Tang Yu returned. She came back with Xiaoan, both of them reeking of alcohol, clearly drunk, having had quite a bit to drink. They entered the apartment excitedly and were stunned when they saw my packed suitcase. I looked at them calmly, pulling my suitcase, and said softly, "Sorry, I was planning to pack up and leave as quickly as possible, but the faucet in the Bathroom broke, so I've been busy with that. Until now, all my personal belongings are packed in the suitcase. I've also resigned from my job. Let's skip the farewell dinner. This is it. Tengu Hurley grabbed my suitcase and said, anxiously, Chin Lang, are you really breaking up with me today? I helped. Shouting YN with his interview and celebrated his successful hiring, I forgot to go to the hospital to handle. Your discharge, are you angry about that? I apologize. Okay, don't scare me before I could respond. Shouting, Ian said sarcastically, Chin Lang, don't be so petty, okay? You even told me today that she'd take you on a trip in a few days to relax. I know you don't like me. I want to appear in front of you in the future. That's all. Don't use breaking up to threaten you. You is already very strong-willed, and now she's already apologizing to you in a low voice. Just take the chance and get over it. He seemed to be advising me, but he was actually adding fuel to the fire. Tang Yu, who had been drinking, raised her eyebrows after hearing Xiao Jian words. Tang, why you let go of the suitcase, looked at me with some anger and said, I've already admitted my mistake. You should know when to stop. She was furious. From her perspective, my behavior mirrored exactly what Xiao Tenin had described. I was deliberately using the threat of breaking up to manipulate her. At this point, I had no desire to explain anything. I took one last deep look at Tang Yu, this woman whom I had loved deeply for 7 years, might have truly loved me once, or perhaps had been with me out of gratitude because I had helped her pay off her debts, and now I had no idea how much presence I still held her heart. None of that mattered anymore. Before leaving, I said to her softly, Xiaoyan is not a man you can entrust your life to. I once loved you deeply, and I don't want to see you get hurt. However, it seems I no longer have the right to meddle in your life. You said you were a footless bird yearning for freedom, not wanting to be bound. I'm setting you free, and doing so I'm freeing myself from now on. I will no longer be a part of your life. Pay care and farewell. Before Tang Yu could respond, Xiaoan glared at me with malice in his eyes. There are plenty of good men in the world. Do you, Chin Lang, really think you're the only good man out there? Sister Yu is such an exceptional woman. There are countless men pursuing her. If you see Lang break up with Sister Yu, it's definitely your loss. I do like Sister Yu. I have since we were young. If you don't want Sister Yu, I will definitely give her happiness. Just wait, and you'll regret it. Xiao Tan's instigation made Tang Yu's intoxication surge. She roared at me, Chin Lang, if you dare to walk out that door, I'll have Xiaoan move in immediately. He's right. There are plenty of good men out there. If you dare to break up with me, I can immediately find a new boyfriend to replace you. I'm giving you one last chance. What you just said was too much. Apologize to Xiao Tingyan right now, and I'll pretend tonight never happened. Even now, she still wants me to apologize to Xiaoan. It just goes to show how deeply she loves him, and it's true. All these years, he's always held a higher place in her heart than I have. Before, I played the fool, refusing to acknowledge it, but now I'm done compromising myself. I dragged my suitcase out of the apartment door, and without looking back, I said softly, Tang Yu, I don't love you like I used to, or rather, I no longer have that initial obsession for the rest of our lives. I hope we never meet again. After breaking up, you can't be friends because you've hurt each other. You also can't pretend to be strangers because you once loved each other, so the best thing is to never meet again. This is the best respect for the relationship. After leaving the apartment, I took a flight back to my hometown. I deleted all contact information for Tang Yu and shouting why from now on I hope they never appear in my life again. My parents were overjoyed at my return, and they asked why Tang Yu hadn't come back with me. We broke up. I quit my job and want to travel around for a bit. I won't be staying at home for too long this time. After hearing this, my mom looked at me with concern, about to say something when my dad glared at her. That night, my dad and I shared 2 bottles of BYO drunk. He said to me, your mom and I can't help you much with the road ahead. The only thing we can do is not interfere with anything you do. Every generation has its own fortune. No matter what you choose, your mom and I will always support you. If you get tired, just come home and rest. Just remember, this home will always be your safe harbor. I cried, taking advantage of my inebriation. I vented all the grievances I'd held in over the years, and then I passed out in my dream. I went back to those youthful days and saw Tang Yu. The dream was beautiful, and the Memories were beautiful too, but in the end they couldn't escape the cruelty of reality when I woke up before I could even dwell on the regret and sadness of this relationship. I heard a commotion coming from my parents' bedroom through the crack in the door. I saw my dad kneeling by the bed while my mom held a feathered duster looking at him fiercely. Mom raged, "Did marry me make you feel like you lost out, you old thing at your age? You're still thinking about those flings from back. Then last night you got drunk with our son and started bawling. Your eyes out, aren't you embarrassed? Let's get this straight today. Who is this too? And who is this so-called Ching Ching?" Another vixen dad explained miserably, "Honey, they were just passers by in my life. You my only one last night." Our son was so heartbroken and crying I didn't know how to comfort him, so I just used some of my own youthful experiences to try and guide him, I swear. "It's not what you think. You might only true love." I eavesdropping at the door. I thought about going into Chan Chan, my mom, to tell her not to let dad kneel for too long, especially since his knees weren't good, but then I thought better of it. Mom was furious, and if I were to join forces with dad at this moment, there would be one more kneeling guest beside him. After staying home for only a few days, I couldn't stand my mom's passive aggressiveness towards my dad and my dad's fawning, bootlicking attitude toward my mom any longer, so I quickly set off on my travels. All these years I've worked hard, hoping to give Tang Yuyu a warm and loving home someday. Now, after the breakup, I want to see the world outside. I once made a promise with her to travel all over our beautiful country together, to see more of the world, but with shouting and constantly interfering in our relationship, we never had the chance to travel. This time, no one could stop me. I packed my backpack, ready to leave, when my mom came over with her phone, looking a bit strange. "Tangu called our phone. She said she wants to talk to you." I shook my head and said firmly, "There's nothing to talk about." My mom nodded approvingly, hung up on Tangu, and said to me, "Good, that's my son. When it's over, it's over. You can't drag things out when it comes to relationships. Don't be like your scoundrel father, always eyeing what's in someone else's bowl while eating from his own. Dad kept giving me pitiful looks, signaling for me to speak up for him. Without a word, I ran out of the house. My mom, full of resentment, was best left for my dad to deal with himself. For the next 3 months, I traveled all over the place. I experienced the extreme cold and desolation of the far north, a year round spring of the south, the vast expanse of the west, and the dazzling prosperity of the east. Finally, I stopped in a small seaside town, because this is where my heart belongs. Over the years, influenced by Tang Yu's advocacy of free speech, I also longed to fly freely like a bird without any constraints. I thought I would gradually get used to this kind of life, but in less than 2 months, I grew tired of it. There is no absolute freedom in this world. Those who seek absolute freedom are in essence just unwilling to bear the problems and responsibilities they have to face. These words were spoken by Shan Shan in college song. Shan Shan was Tang Yu's roommate and also a companion I met on this journey. Her home is in this small seaside town. I met Song Shan Shan by chance in the vast lands of the Northwest. Back in our university days, she shared a dorm room with Tang Yu, so I was quite familiar with her. After years of not seeing each other, her appearance hadn't changed much, but her personality had shifted a bit. She wasn't as outgoing and cheerful as before, and there was a sense of melancholy about her. In the vastness of the Northwest, after a bonfire party, she sat alone on a roadside stone, gazing at the starry sky. When I strolled over, she heard my footsteps, gave me a faint smile, and then continued looking at the stars. I smiled and said, "It's been a few years. Have you taken up studying the stars?" She softly replied, "To be precise, ever since my mom passed away, I've liked looking at the stars. I always feel like she hasn't left, like she's become a star watching over me. See that brightest star twinkling? I feel like that's my mom responding to me." I looked at the twinkling star and whispered, "Are you nearsighted?" "That's an orbital satellite." Song Shan Shan shot me a sidelong glance and huffed in annoyance. I sat down beside her, looked at the starlit sky, and sighed deeply. I missed out on so much beauty before this time traveling. I've seen so many people and things. It feels like my soul has been cleansed. Once you let go of certain things, you realize that those hurdles you thought were insurmountable were just fleeting clouds. Life is just birth, aging, sickness, And Def, everything else you just smile and let it go. Do you think my insights are profound? Song Shan Shan pouted. And replied Chen Lang, are you comforting me? Or have you had an epiphany after a heartbreak and are planning to become a monk? I gave her a look and didn't respond. We sat there gazing at the starry sky, silent for a long time, enjoying the tranquility. Later, Song Shan Shan took the initiative to ask about me, and Tang Yu, if it had been my old self, I definitely wouldn't have said much. I didn't want to put my affairs out there for others to judge, but now I've let go of that relationship. So I calmly and openly told Song Shan Shan about what happened between me and Tang Yu after graduation. After listening, Song Shan Zan sighed softly and said, losing you is her loss. I joke you think I'm a good man too, are you tempted? While I'm single and considering we're old acquaintances, I can give you a chance to take advantage of the situation. In the past, Shan Shan would have responded with a hearty laugh, saying she didn't go for guys close to home or something like that. But now she nodded and said to me directly, okay. I was stunned, then chuckled awkwardly and said, I was just kidding. I didn't mean to tease you. Before I could finish, she said to me, I'm serious. Back then, your care and love for Tang Yu made me envious. I also want to experience what it's like to be someone's favorite. After that night, Song Shan Shan and I traveled to many places together. Our feelings for each other gradually warmed up. 3 months later, I came to Song Shan Shan's home, settled down in the seaside town, and ran a small shop with her. Life was easy and comfortable when I was with her. She would be considerate of my feelings, and I would also take extra care of her. Love is about complementing each other. It's not just about seeing the other person's strengths, but also about accepting their flaws. Song Shan Shan and I both did very well in this regard with her. I truly found a home for my heart. I wanted to propose to her. I had proposed to Tang Yu 9 times before, all unsuccessful. So I already had a psychological shadow about proposing after being with Song Shan Shan. I wanted to propose several times, but the words always got stuck in my throat. Just when Song Shan Shan and I had been together for half a year, I mustered up the courage, planning to propose and then take her back home to meet my parents. But before I could even speak, she looked at me with bright eyes, as if she could see right through my thoughts. That evening, the setting sun shone on her. She smiled at me and said, Chen Lang, I want to get married. I was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, beautiful Miss Song Shan Shan, will you marry me? Her smile was radiant, and she nodded yes. I brought Song Shan Shan home a few months ago. While traveling, I had already told my parents about Song Shan Shan and me. They were very fond of Song Shan Shan because in their eyes, it was she who pulled me out of the abyss of heartbreak. When we got home, my parents were even more pleased after seeing the gentle and generous Song Shan Shan. Immediately, they started calling relatives and friends to arrange our wedding. The day after I returned to my hometown, Tang Yu came to my door. I was curious how she knew I was back. After all, not only had I deleted her contact information, but my parents had also blacklisted her. Song Shan Shan said, I posted on my WeChat moments. She probably saw it and rushed over here, right? I looked at Song Shan Shan, speechlessly complaining, you really know how to make trouble for me. What are you trying to get us back together? Song Shan Shan punched me lightly and said crossly, I just want you to have a clean break from that relationship before we get married. I pouted and muttered, women are so petty. I think you'd just like to watch the drama. Before Song Shan Shan could speak, my mom glared at me and said, go and talk to her clearly and don't get involved with other women anymore. If you dare to be like your father, I'll break your legs. My dad smiled dry, constantly giving me winks. It's been half a year, hasn't it? The incident where my dad, in order to comfort me, revealed some of his past affairs hasn't passed, yet my mom probably remembers it for a lifetime, finding fault with my dad every now and then and giving him a beating. My dad has sacrificed so much for me. I walked to the door and saw Tang Yu. She looked much more haggard after not seeing her for half a year. Seeing me, she hurriedly said, Chen Lang, I know I was wrong. Stop it, okay? I know you're with Song Shan Shan just to make me jealous. Don't worry, I won't be mad at you for this. As long as you come back to me, I'll pretend nothing happened between you and her. Okay, I can marry you, but I don't want to be tied to the kitchen. After marriage, I have my own social circle. Let's keep some space for each other, but I promise you I will definitely be a good Wi-Fi. Before she Could finish, I said softly, I'm getting married, and my wife is Song Shan Shan. Tang Yu, I've already told you everything I needed to say before. It's impossible between us. Tang Yu face was pale, and she stared at me blankly, her eyes quickly renaying. She trembled and said, why Song Shan Shan is not as pretty as me. Her figure is not as good as mine. What do you see in her? I pointed to my heart and said calmly, a spiritual connection. Thoughts echo in the mind eye. Cherish her. She cares about me. That's enough, Tang Yu said excitedly. I can do that too, Chen Lang. We have 7 years of feelings. I feel the same way about you. You can't do this to me. I looked at her deeply and sighed softly. Tang Yu, you stop deceiving yourself. You know very well how I've treated you all these years. You also know how you've treated me in your heart. I've never been as good as that. Shout Tingon. Even outsiders can see it. How can you not know? Tang Yu's face turned even paler. She stepped forward and grabbed my hand, pleading, Chen Lang, I was wrong before. Forgive me. Okay, just this one. After we get married, I'll listen to you, okay? I pulled my hand away from her, shook my head, and said softly, it's impossible between us. Song Shan Shan and I are getting married soon. If you come to congratulate us, we welcome you. But don't let Xiao Tian come. I still find a guy disgusting. Hearing this, Tangu smiled miserably. She looked behind me and Song Shan Shan came out in front of Tang Yu. Song Shan Shan held my hand tight, as if declaring my ownership. Tang Yu looked at Song Shan Shan jealously and cried out unwillingly, why did you steal him from me? Give him back to me. Yes, Shan Zhen looked at Tang Yu pityingly and said, back in college, I warned you not to get too close to that Xiaoan. You didn't listen to my advice and always neglected Chinli. I felt bad for him. You don't love him. Someone else does. Tin Yu, please don't bother my man anymore. I hope you can find your own happiness in the future. Song Shan Shan's words completely broke Tang Yu. She broke down in tears, turned around, and left in a daze. I felt a little regret, but nothing more. Song Shan Shan looked at Tang Yu's departing figure and said softly, Xiaoan had a car accident and is paralyzed from the waist down. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come to you. I was stunned and asked, what happened? Song Shan Shan said that after Tang Yu and I broke up, Xiao Tingon pursued Tang Yu even more, and Tang Yu wavered just when Tang Yu was about to accept Xiao Ting Yin. Shouting, Yin had a car accident and became paralyzed from the waist down. Becoming a how could Tang Yu entrust her happiness to Shouting Yin, who was already a Song Shan Shan posted on WeChat moments about marrying me, and specifically said it to remind Tang Yu. So, Tang Yu came wanted me to get back together with her. I looked at Song Shan Shan with a strange expression and said, wife, who did you learn this ruthless tactic from? You won't use it on me in the future, will you? Song Shan Shan snorted and said to me with a smile, it depends on your future performance. I put my arm around Song Shan Shan's waist, looked at Tang Yu's lonely departing figure, and sigh in my heart. Tang Yu, I don't love you anymore. I hope you can find a good partner in the future, and I hope that we will never have any regrets in the future.